Hi, my name is Alyssa, and today I'm going to be doing my presentation on understanding stress. So, stress is something we encounter in our everyday lives and something that is very normalized. And unfortunately, it is very harmful to our bodies and can cause a lot of issues and health issues in general. So, I kind of wanted to go over today the science behind it and the impact it really has on our body. A lot of people underestimate the effects it has, but it is actually very harmful. So, starting with this, stress is actually linked to the six leading causes of death in the US. So, these causes include heart disease, cancer, accidents, chronic lower respiratory diseases such as COPD, and suicide. So, as you can see on the graph, these are very harmful. In fact, they cause death and they're very bad for our bodies. And stress is one of the leading factors for this. So, this really helps us evaluate the situations we are putting ourselves in to see that it can cause these really harmful things to us. So, moving on, what is stress? Stress is your body's natural response to any demand or challenge you are in. It's how your body perceives a certain threat, and your body will go into something called fight or flight mode. There are two types of stress that we encounter. The first is acute stress, and the second is chronic stress. So, acute stress is it can be considered as a positive type of stress called eustress. Eustress is more when you, let's say, you're running a race and you get a burst of energy and you do a little bit better. That can be the type of eustress or positive stress we encounter. When it comes to chronic stress, there really is no type of good stress for that. Chronic just means long lasting. So that could be weeks, months, years. Just we are experiencing stress for a long period of time. There are many different causes of stress that we can have. The most common ones are work stress. That's probably the main one. School stress. It can lead into relationship issues. Any sort of big life changes, financial situations is a big one as well. The list goes on. It really kind of just depends on the person, but most people experience some sort of stress and have some sort of situation they are in. The most important thing is learning how to cope with stress. There are a lot of different ways how people cope with stress. The number one way I found is prioritizing your sleep. Sleep is so important, it really helps us reduce our stress. And so, learning to do that and putting that first will help a lot. And I think a lot of people don't do that. They'll work long hours and wondering why they are so stressed, but it's because they are not prioritizing that sleep. The next one is nourishing your bodies. Really learning that the food we put in our bodies can affect so much, and it really can help reduce stress if we are feeding ourselves good whole foods. The next one, this is probably my favorite one, is exercising regularly. This one for me helps me release my stress and is a good outlet for me, and I think a lot of people. A good one also is just practicing relaxation techniques. So this could be things such as yoga, meditation, any of the sort, whatever helps people calm down. There are many different ways to also cope with your stress. Again, with like managing your time is a big one. Um, Laying everything out to make sure you are not overlapping your schedule. And then the last one is take breaks. Giving yourself a break, understanding it's okay to slow down and not overwork yourself because the consequences are not worth it at the end. So, the science behind stress kind of talked about the fight or flight mode, which is the stress response. So, there are three brain triggers in parts of your brain. So, the first one is the amygdala. This is located in your temporal lobe, and it's your brain's emotional processing center. So, when you interpret a situation as a threat, this acts as your brain's alarm system. So, what this does is it finds out when you are in distress and it takes it and sends it to your hypothalamus. So, what this does is this is near the brain center, and this acts as a command center. So, this can communicate with the rest of your body and to your nervous system that something is wrong. And so, then what this does is it sends a signal to release to your adrenal glands to release your stress hormones. So your adrenal glands, they are located on the top of your kidneys, and these are what release those two stress hormones, which are adrenaline and cortisol. So adrenaline, also known as epinephrine, this is the immediate response to stress, and cortisol is long-lasting stress response. So a lot of people will talk about cortisol, how that's bad for you. That's just more related to chronic stress. So adrenaline This is known again as epinephrine. A lot of people use that interchangeably, but some of the effects that this can have on our bodies is it can increase our heart rate. It can expand our airways to let in oxygen. If you heard of, I have allergies, so I have an EpiPen. Epinephrine is what they do in case of anaphylaxis. So I think of it that way: quick lasting stress response, or yeah. And then it also redirects our blood to our muscles instead of blood that goes to skin or digestion. It can also sharpen our focus and give us more energy. Moving on to cortisol, this can keep our blood sugar and energy levels elevated. It can suppress non essential systems such as our digestion, reproduction, and growth. It can enhance our brain's use of glucose for quick thinking. And overall, it just helps regulate inflammation. Some of the pros of cortisol, it can be helpful in short bursts, but it can be harmful when it goes for too long. Overall, this one isn't as good. It can help reduce inflammation only temporarily. It can help you keep alert and focused and maintain blood pressure, but on the other side, it can disrupt your sleep and memory, can cause feelings of fatigue, anxiety, or depression, lead to hormonal imbalances. There are a lot of not very good effects that has on our body, and again, that's linked to chronic stress. So the effects of stress going into the short term are increased focus. You can have a faster heartbeat, more energy and anxiety and irritability. When it goes into the long term side, these are more chronic and really harmful problems. So again, heart disease, high blood pressure, any sort of sleep issues you may experience, a weakened immune system, and then again, just depression and anxiety. So, how does this apply to us? At the end of the day, I think it's so important to realize your job is not worth your health. Stress is common, but it should not be normalized. People don't realize the long lasting effects it has on our bodies, and it's not worth it to experience that stress now to have those problems later in our lives. Stress is normal to have every now and then, but it should not be a constant thing. So chronic stress is bad. Acute stress can be good in certain situations. Something that I found interesting is 83% of US workers actually suffer from work related stress, and then about a million workers are absent each day due to stress. So that is most of the workers in the US, which is crazy to think about how much everyone just deals with stress, and then we wonder why we have all of these health problems here. So I think workplace pressure is one of the biggest drivers for constant stress. Employers are constantly putting pressure on employees to perform best, and it really just builds that stress up. So again, learning how to deal with that, and again, we talked about those ways of how to reduce your stress and what can you do that way. And at the end of the day, it's important to take breaks, set boundaries, and ask for support. Ask for help if you need it, and really listen to your body to what you need. And thank you.